Studio 31.
We continue to salute those who are united with Ukraine. From Erie News Now, you're watching First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Amanda Post.
And I'm Kara Coleman. Thanks so much for joining us for First at 4, Erie's only 4 p.m. newscast.
Yes, and happy Tuesday. I keep thinking it's Wednesday, so I might need a little help.
You need that reset. We're not
all day long. I thought it was Wednesday.
I hate when your body clocks off like that. But yeah, Tuesday.
It's
Here
Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. It's National Taco Day. It's just all about the taco today.
I know. So it's probably that time. I know it always is for me when I'm like, what am I feeding these people for dinner? So go to tacos if you haven't.
Yeah, there are some deals. Moe's is offering some deals. Taco Bell's offering some deals. We'll tell you about all that a little bit later.
Yeah, we have some great guests coming up on First at 4 today. A couple events. The best fall fest, the best little fall fest in Erie coming up this weekend. We'll get you the details to that one.
And the Beach Class Festival is coming up this weekend at the Bayfront Convention Center. And it's not just about beach class. There's a lot of other things there as well, so we'll tell you about that. And Jamison Hixenbaugh is going to join us because he's got more on that crazy fish story that we had for you yesterday, where the guys are putting the weights in the fish to try to win the 30 grand. Yeah, so we'll have a little bit more on that as well.
And our Lisa Adams is going to join us. I know this is one of interest for me with little kids. The Children's Museum expanding in a really big way, so we'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of an update on the progress of that rebuild. Right now, let's bring in AJ Mastrangelo and find out what's going on outside. Hi, AJ.
Hey, AJ.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day out there. We have seen a little bit of cloud cover and rain showers to our east, but overall, we'll take the warmer temperatures right around 60 degrees. That is below our average, but we will be warming up as we head towards Wednesday. Thursday, we'll see a little bit of a different story. We see a cold front sweep through the region. That'll bring some cooler temperatures and some rain showers. Happening right now, though, look at the bayfront. Beautiful blue sky out there. Current temperature 59 degrees. You can see those yellow or green bars over the next several hours. So we're expecting those fair skies to remain in place for the next several hours as well. Wind gusts right now 10 to 15 miles per hour. Has been a bit breezy out there, but not quite as strong as we've seen the past few days. Temperatures right now, as you can see, 60 degrees here in Edinburgh, but you take a trip out towards Warren County, it is a bit cooler, and that's because out towards Warren County, that's where we see more cloud cover and shower activity. We have those clear skies here in Erie County, as well as portions of Meadville area, but yeah, those showers continuing off. This is still remnants of what was Hurricane Ian. All of your full forecasts coming up regarding whether or not we'll be seeing more of this rain in your 4-day forecast after the break.
Like the remnants of Ian are just kind of stuck there.
Just stalled right over it. All right, let's get started now with our First at 4.
Yeah, those 4 stories that we're following today that we believe may interest or impact you the most.
And we begin today with some sad news coming out of Nashville, the music world this afternoon. Country music royalty Loretta Lynn has died. According to a statement from her family, Lynn passed away peacefully in her sleep early this morning at her home in Tennessee.
Yeah, Lynn's music career spanned more than 50 years with the release of more than 60 albums, believe it or not. She was actually the first woman named Country Music Association's Entertainer of the Year. That was back in 1972. And of course, her life story, based on her 1976 autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter, was made into an Academy Award-winning film. Loretta Lynn was 90 years old.
I love that film starring Sissy Spacek way back in the day. It was a great story of Loretta Lynn's upbringing and how she, became the royalty in music history that she is today.
Yeah, and so much of her music, she says, was based on, her life growing up in a coal mine town. But yeah, Loretta Lynn passing away earlier today.
Also today, Twitter stock exploded upward 13% during Tuesday's midday trading after an announcement about a possible deal between the social media giant and Elon Musk. According to the Washington Post and Bloomberg, Musk offered to buy Twitter for just over $54 a share.
Yeah, if this is ringing a bell, yeah, this was also in the news a couple of weeks back. That is the price that the two parties had originally agreed to before Musk tried to end that $44 billion agreement. Musk has previously said that if he was in charge of Twitter, he would bring a lot of changes, including what he calls free speech to that platform. So a lot of people have been watching this. So potentially that deal with Elon Musk back on.
Yeah, and very interesting. Well, of course, Twitter banned the president from tweeting.
Right.
And I think that that's where a lot of that kind of started. Yes. And so people are interested in the possibility of that changing.
Yeah, so maybe back. We'll keep you posted. This is so fascinating to me. A McDowell student has a lot to be proud of this afternoon. He's one of the 306 students worldwide to receive a perfect score on his AP research exam. He's a senior by the name of Chris Zhao, and his project, CFD analysis on the carotid artery purification. Just pronouncing it was hard enough. It received an A+. Wow.
I was just holding my breath, Kara.
Who gave me that read?
You know he's smarter than we are combined.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
The class is unique because the students get the opportunity to choose a topic and present research. Unlike the typical test and quiz format, according to Chris, this class interested him because he felt in charge of his own learning. And by the way, only 1% of students internationally were able to accomplish a perfect score.
I mean, just over 300 students in the world. That is unbelievable. So congrats to him. And wow, I can't wait to see what
I don't know what he researched, but it sounds fascinating.
A+ for him.
That's terrific. Well, Perry Square is set to go pink tonight as we are now a few days into Breast Cancer Awareness Month. UPMC Hammond is sponsoring the Pink Perry Square event to recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month and to celebrate survivors throughout the community.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Tonight's event's also going to feature a local woman's breast cancer journey, as well as remarks by physicians at UPMC Hammond's Breast Health Center. It's all set to get started in just a couple of hours here at 6 o'clock this evening in Perry Square. That event is free and open to the public. And our Lisa Adams was with us yesterday talking about all of that with breast cancer, joining us again today. But a little bit about the Children's Museum. It's kind of a staple in downtown Erie. And if you've driven by that area in the past couple of weeks or months, you can just see the expansion happening there.
Absolutely exciting story today. You know, I was around, my kids were little when it very first opened. Their handprints were part of the mosaic of handprints in there. But now they are making it be doubled in size with a brand new building, and today we got to be there for what they call the topping off ceremony, where they ceremonially raised one of the last steel beams and put it into place. Interesting though, they brought some moms and kids who had been at a program in the museum out to put hard hats on and be part of this. They got to sign that beam before it was hoisted up into place. We have some pictures of that. But this is a really, really exciting expansion project. The construction got underway last April, and this new building should be done by June of next year, and that's when everybody will move into that side of things, and then they'll do a total renovation of the original Children's Museum, which is in an old livery building that goes back to 1906, so very old.
Right. Now, what will this expansion, once everything is settled, what will it do for the experience for the kids coming in?
So obviously twice the size, and they're going from, you know, a few exhibits, 20 exhibits, to about 150 different exhibits, all hands-on, and it's very Erie-centric. Like, there will be a replica of the Niagara in that new 2-story section that kids can climb on, and some land lighthouses that we see on Presque Isle, and then that big water table feature. You know, the kids like to stand and play. And also, some of the exhibits will be for 4th and 5th graders, so it will expand activities and things to do.
For the older child.
STEAM, all STEAM-oriented. They call their fundraiser Full Steam Ahead because, again, it's focused on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
You know, I remember hearing about this expansion when it was first announced and thinking, oh gosh, I hope my kids are still able to go to it. So, but they're all about hands-on play, and I just can't imagine with how many more additional square feet they're going to have, just how much they're going to enhance that experience.
There will be a gift shop there too. If you're downtown and you want to buy, you know, a kid-based toy, you'll be able to go to the gift shop. There's going to be a special entrance if your kids go with their school for buses to drop kids off and go right on into the museum. A place to park your strollers and parking. I mean, they haven't had parking for it, so it will have its own parking. So it's going to be a really exciting process.
And again, all set to be finished June?
The new building in June of next year, but it will take to 2024 for the whole thing to be all finished and open. So really timed well with a lot of the other exciting things going on downtown.
Yes.
I happened to run into Ainsley this weekend, and she was so excited excited that you were going to be a part of the topping off ceremony today. So I'm glad that we could all make that work and be there for that today.
Really fun, and we got to walk inside the new construction with our hard hats on and take a little bit of a look around and get a sense of how it will be. You know, there will be outdoor areas that kids can do activities as well too. And again, they want moms and kids who come down to then take advantage of the other things going on downtown.
Right. Sure. So much going on. Thanks, Lisa, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, still to come on First at 4. AJ has your full forecast.
Also ahead, the weather definitely confirming it is fall, and there's a fall fest coming up this weekend that you're going to want to know the details about. And it benefits a really great cause, hence the horses that you're seeing here. We'll detail that for you coming up next.
Wednesday morning on Erie News Now, the worst of the pandemic is over, but for some, the effects of COVID-19 just won't go away. From lingering brain fog to the loss of smell, we're going to detail the new national effort to solve the mystery behind long COVID.
It's a great way to wake up.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 3, followed by Erie News Now, first at 4, only on WICU.
Happy 927 and Erie News Now Sunrise want you to be a part of our early morning mug club.
It's a great way to wake up.
Just head to happy927.com to win coffee, donuts, bagels, and muffins from Tim Hortons. Plus, you'll score a 4-pack of limited edition mugs delivered right to you or your workplace. The Early Morning Mug Club, brought to you by Tim Hortons, serving breakfast and lunch with 11 locations in Erie and Warren, PA to help make your day. Erie News Now Sunrise and Happy 927.
Latest news at your fingertips. ErieNewsNow.com. From Erie News Now, this is First Warning Weather with AJ Mastrangelo.
Well, it is a beautiful Tuesday out there, unless you're this one guy who got pulled over downtown. Feeling bad for that guy right about now. But 59 degrees right now at the moment. North wind 8 miles per hour. Dew point 40 degrees, and that pressure is building a bit too. So it is a nice day out there. And if you're feeling a bit colder today, then you should probably go see a doctor, because it's actually 2 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday at this time. You can see inland locations even a bit warmer there as well. Doppler max quiet here in Erie County, but we look just off to our west, Warren County, McKean County, been seeing more cloud cover and some scattered showers and storms. Some of this backward moisture kind of just fluxing out of here. You can see that circulation here. That is the remnants of Ian now turning into a nor'easter. It should be scheduling a departure here relatively soon, though, over the next 24 hours. You can see Ian won't quit making its first landfall here in Florida, then up through the Carolinas. This is the past week. You can see it's just been stationed here in the northeast, just fluxing all of that moisture and cloud cover into the state here. Luckily, we haven't seen too much in terms of flooding here, but it certainly has been a dreary stretch, especially for eastern portions of the state while we've been in the sunshine. So no complaints regarding that. Futurecast showing that cloud cover continuing to push westward throughout the night tonight, but then I think by that midnight hour, we'll be seeing it scooting on out of here towards our east, and our Wednesday is looking beautiful. A good deal of sunshine, not a cloud in the sky here for our sunset. Should be a nice evening to get down there towards the bayfront. Thursday morning, waking up to a few more clouds. Clouds build throughout the day here as a cold front approaches from the west. We'll be seeing showers here. Rain outlook next 5 days. We're looking good here Wednesday and Thursday, but then by Friday, I'm thinking more Thursday night into Friday morning when we'll be seeing our next best chance of some showers there. But then Saturday and Sunday looking pretty good here. We'll be cooler behind the front. Temperatures only topping out around 50 degrees, as you can see here. Next few days, October 11th through 17th, we are in those blue shading of coloring there. So that means that there's a good chance we'll be seeing more of those cooler temperatures below average as we head into the beginning portions and end of next week. So it will be a cooler stretch of weather ahead. Tropical weather, we are talking about some active tropics once more. You can see this little puffball going on down here. That is a pretty good tropical wave here. A lot of thunderstorm activity happening right now, and the National Hurricane Center just coming out with this new update here. 70% chance of formation within the next 5 days. Was that 30% early on this morning? So more confidence here that we'll be seeing two systems. Luckily, this system will be staying off to our east, but definitely something to watch here over the next few days in the Caribbean. Taking kind of a similar path to Ian, but good news here. This looks like it's be more of an impact there for portions of Central America, not here towards the U.S., but definitely something to keep an eye on. Your 4 at 4 looking great here for the next few days. I don't know why I keep skipping to that. We're all beautiful people, but we got to get to the forecast. 66 degrees, mostly sunny skies for the day tomorrow. 70 clouds building for our day on Thursday. Friday, almost 20 degrees cooler for that afternoon, and then much cooler there Saturday, but we should be drying out as we head towards the weekend.
You know, it's scaring me, all the blues starting to creep into our map, AJ.
Yeah.
And what a temperature jump there from 71 day down to 52 the next. Okay, we're in it. We're in it.
While you
Fall is
can.
here.
Yeah,
Thanks,
exactly.
AJ.
Up and down. Well, we do want to welcome in our next guest to First at 4, Brenda Borgia, a volunteer with Hope on Horseback. We're going to be talking about Fall Fest coming up. And we do want to make a correction, coming up in a couple of weeks.
Correct.
But tell us a little bit about Hope on Horseback if some of our viewers aren't aware of your mission.
Well, Hope on Horseback is a therapeutic riding program that has been in existence since 1981.
Wow.
Where we provide equine-assisted therapies for children and adults with special needs, first responders, frontline workers, veterans, and cancer survivors, victims of crime and abuse.
Wow.
So it's amazing what a horse can do, both emotionally and physically, for people.
And how long has this been a service in the community? Quite a long time.
It's been over 40 years.
Yeah, long time.
Yes.
What is it about a horse that is so well in that therapeutic process?
Well, a horse is similar to, you know, acknowledging your feelings and your moods like a dog is, you know, how they can sense. A horse also, if you're riding on the horse, it mimics the same moves of a human as it's walking.
Okay.
So when the horse is walking, you're getting movement in your core. It gives you core strength, gives you confidence, and they're just very passionate animals.
You must have a lot of people coming to you who've, I would imagine, never has had any interaction with a horse, let alone have gotten on and rode before.
Most of our riders have not been on a horse before, though we do have riders that have been in the program for 15 and 20 years.
Wow.
And our volunteers as well. We have some of our volunteers are experienced horsemen, and then there are some people who've never been around a horse, and we provide the training for them, and it is just as rewarding for our volunteers as it is for our clients.
I'm sure.
So talk a little bit about the best little fair, best little fall fest.
I love the name
Erie.
too.
Yeah.
It's the best little fall fest in Erie, PA.
Yeah.
And it is new to us. We've not done this before, and it's going to be a family fun day on Sunday, October 23rd. It will be indoor and outdoor activities. We have vendors who are going to be showing their crafts, as well as we are having local music artists, and Chris Higsby is going to be performing. We have the potato launcher, and we have a cakewalk and toilet toss, and it's just going to be a fun day to be outside in the fall.
And
Something
this-
for all ages.
All ages, yes.
And this is happening at Mound Grove in Waterford, again, coming up on Sunday, October 23rd. What do some of the funds that are raised here, how does that help the mission of Hope on Horseback?
The funds that we raise at this event will go towards the winter care of our horses, because even though we won't still be in session class-wise, we still care for the horses. We have to feed them, and we also do training programs for our volunteers, as well as the funds will also go to continuing to develop the new location that we're at. We recently moved in June from our location on Sterretania Road to Barton Road, and funding for this from this will go to an educational center that will be able to provide a classroom setting for, you know, the veterans, and we also have a partnership with Gannon OT students and special education students who work with Gertrude Barber Center, and those Gannon students actually work with our instructors, and they develop the classroom schedule, the activities the kids will be participating in. The Gannon students went through training as well, and it's really pretty neat to watch it.
Right. And we're starting to run out of time, so I want to get back to the Fall Fest, because Chris Higsby is a huge draw here in this area.
Yeah, he
and
sure
he's
is.
bringing his son as well, and they're going to perform together.
Yes,
and
they
that's
are.
happening at 4 o'clock on the festival day.
Yes, but there'll be activities going all day long, from noon until 5, and Chris will be around. He and his son will be around throughout the time of the festival.
Yeah, that's terrific.
It's a great cause. It sounds like a great event, again, coming up on Sunday, October 23rd out at Mount Grove. Brenda, thanks for being here
Thank you
today.
for having me.
We appreciate it.
All right, still to come on First at 4, shocking report released this week concerning the Women's Professional Soccer League.
Yeah, it details what some are calling the systemic, emotional, and sexual abuse that players go through. We're going to have those details for you coming up on First at 4.
Your one place for everything Erie is on Erie News Now. Visit ErieNewsNow.com to watch anytime, anywhere, live or on demand, on your TV, phone, tablet, or computer. Also download the Erie News Now app for breaking news alerts. Erie News Now. It's coverage you can count on. You have a smartphone and you downloaded how many apps? You got them for music and, of course, games. But you need an app that shows you what's happening in your community. Breaking news, weather, and sports right at your fingertips. It's local, live, and free. Games and music don't deliver breaking news, but Erie News Now does. Scan the QR code and download the Erie News Now mobile app today. You're watching First at 4 with Kara Coleman and Amanda Post.
And now on First at 4, a bombshell new report is rocking the world of women's professional soccer.
An independent investigation finding a pattern of rampant abuse and sexual misconduct, and that officials failed to protect players. Anne Thompson has the details.
Oh, what a move! Luber through!
The excitement of the National Women's Soccer League hid an ugly truth: verbal and emotional abuse and sexual misconduct. Today's report says they were systemic, spanning multiple teams, coaches, and victims. It says the abuse is rooted in a deeper culture starting in youth leagues, normalizing verbally abusive coaching and blurring boundaries between coaches and players. The investigation, led by former acting U.S. Attorney General Sally Yates, interviewed more than 200 people. It says players described a pattern of sexually charged comments, unwanted sexual advances and sexual touching, and coercive sexual intercourse. The Athletic's Meg Linehan first broke the story of abuse.
Did the silence enable the abuse here? 100%. The silence absolutely enabled the abuse, but the silence enabled the cover-up of the abuse for about a decade as well.
No one, the report says, not the teams, the league, or U.S. Soccer, acted to respond to or prevent the abuse. As a result, abusive coaches were allowed to move from team to team. Some even thanked for their service. Today, U.S. Soccer President Cindy Parlow-Cone called the findings heartbreaking and deeply troubling, and promised to address the recommendations, including publicly identifying individuals disciplined, suspended, or banned. At last being open about a culture of abuse. Anne Thompson, NBC News.
And we said shocking report. I'm sure it's shocking to a lot of us, but for those professional women's soccer players, it's not shocking to them. They've been living it for years.
Sure. And, you know, a part of the report was saying it's not only professional soccer, it also, you know, goes down to the collegiate level, also into youth sports. So something I think as parents, you have to be aware of.
Yeah, you do. And I'm hoping that this will help to, you know, make some changes and kind of clean up the system from the top down.
And, you know, women's soccer has been at the forefront of the equal pay movement, at least for women in sports. So they do have a big voice, and hopefully it looks like, you know, they're going to use it.
This is just going to project them even more into getting, you know, equal treatment, which is certainly just expected. Shouldn't be earned. Still to come, AJ will be back with another look at the weather, and we've got your First at 4.
Yeah, and that includes the loss of a country music legend. We're going to look back on the life and legacy of Loretta Lynn, plus Perry Square in pink. We'll have all that coming up on First at 4.
The people of Ukraine continue to need help. The Global Empowerment Mission has been on the ground since day 2 of the crisis. Nearly 400 trucks of aid were sent into the region. More than 36,000 refugees have been assisted, and GEM is repairing multiple key buildings. If you'd like to help, go to globalempowermentmission.org and click on the donate button. Global Empowerment Mission is dedicated to restoring hope and opportunity in Ukraine and other disasters. Thank you for your support. This message a public service of Lilly Broadcasting. Get a great view with the Warren webcam. First Warning Weather shows you what's happening around downtown Warren, live on air and anytime online. The Warren webcam is brought to you by the Northern Pennsylvania Regional College. Erie News Now First Warning Weather Director John Stalen. He's the one you can depend on every single day, keeping you safe when severe weather strikes.
holding pretty strong with some wind gusts, but now
Helping you plan by tracking days ahead and accurate forecasts in your neighborhood. Accuracy. 30 years of keeping you safe. John Stalen is the one to trust. Erie News Now first warning weather. Coverage you can count on.
Let's go. It's a big world, and now we're loving this town. It's our turn, so put your hands up. Don't be scared, take a chance. Come on, give me a hand. It's time to laugh, time to smile. Now let's get up and dance. Come on, everybody, let's live it up. Let it out if you can't get enough. This right here gonna make you jump, jump, jump. This is home. Hey, yeah. This is home.
Erie, what a great way to wake up.
Erie News Now sunrise, followed by the Today Show.
Every morning on WICU.
You're watching First at 4 with Kara Coleman and Amanda Post.
And welcome back to First at 4. I'm Kara Coleman.
And I'm Amanda Post. Glad that you've sticking around with us today. We've got another action-packed half hour for you. Lots of great things coming up. Jamison Hixenbaugh is going to join us again because we can't get enough of this fishing story.
Oh my gosh. The fishing tournament over in Cleveland, Ohio. It's really rocked the competitive fishing world.
Well, and it should because, I mean, listen, I can't believe somebody would stoop so low as to do what they did. If you don't know, I don't want to ruin it for you. You stick around because it's an amazing story. But I mean, it's gone global, this story.
It has, and happening just down the road in Cleveland, Ohio. Right. So yeah, we'll get into that one coming up in just a few minutes here. Also, a big event happening this weekend at the Bayfront Convention Center. It is the Beach Glass Festival. A huge draw down there. Right. So we're going to talk to some of the organizers about all that entails.
Yeah, but right now, AJ is waiting for us out on the weather deck for another look at the forecast. Hi, AJ.
Yeah, it is a beautiful afternoon thus far out here. We've been shielded from most of those rain showers. My thermometer currently reading around 62 degrees, so a little bit warmer than what we saw during our day yesterday. Heading over the next couple of days, I think we'll be looking pretty good. Good deal of sunshine across the area, cooler nights, and of course those cooler nights, that means good things happening for some of that fall foliage. We'll run the tape here on some photos. Thank you guys for sending in some of those photos. This first one here of trotting into October. Thank you, Diane, for sending that one in. And then we also have another photo, Fairview, just a few miles west of I-79 there. You can see some of the colors already starting to pop here. But taking a look now at our fall color chart here, we do have a little bit of ways to go. You see some of those trees are turning, but some of them are still green. That's because we're really only in that patchy phase. Still a few weeks here, 1 to 2 weeks until we truly get to that peak fall foliage here in Erie County. Some of the higher elevations, though, we'll take a look at our map. Have already been seeing some of the best colors of the year over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. I think we'll be really peaking out there. Certainly here in Erie County, we do have a little bit of ways to go, but certainly be sure to send in some of those photos. Everything's looking great out there. Those cooler nights, dry weather that we have been seeing are perfect for some of those fall colors. Otherwise, ladies, it is a beautiful afternoon out here. A little bit chilly. Definitely could use a sweatshirt out here, but we'll take it without the rain and the clouds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are in October, so a beautiful sunny day in the 60s, almost in the 60s. Yeah.
You know what I say? It's sweater weather.
Yes, it is.
And we like it.
Thanks, AJ.
All right, let's get started now with our First at 4.
Yeah, those trending stories that will impact or interest you and your family.
Big news from the music world today. Country music royalty Loretta Lynn has died. According to a statement from her family, Lynn passed away peacefully in her sleep early this morning at her home in Tennessee.
I think a lot of people are putting on, one of their favorite albums of hers for sure. Her music spanned more than 50 years. I was surprised by this. More than 60 albums. Wow. She was actually the first woman named Country Music Association's Entertainer of the Year. That was back in '72. And her life story, based on her 1976 autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter, was made into an Academy Award-winning film. Loretta Lynn, again, passing away this morning. She was 90 years old.
And my affiliation with the musical Always Patsy Cline, I did a lot of research about women in that era that were coming up in the business, and what they had to do and what they had to deal with in the man's world of the music business in those days. It's really quite amazing. And she's she lived a great long life, and was a great pioneer for women in the music industry, for
90
sure.
years old.
Well, Hurricane Ian is now considered to be the United States' 25th deadliest hurricane. Officials say at least 105 people died in the 2 states due to Ian. That places the storm right before 1972's Hurricane Agnes, maybe? Agnes? Maybe we're missing a letter there. Agnes. Agnes. Thank you, Director Bob in my ear. Yes, Agnes, where 125 people died.
You know, also today, the Lee County Sheriff says they have about 3 to 4 more days of search and rescue. So they haven't even gotten to all of the locations. So that death toll number could rise slightly. Also, the sheriff said they're having a bit of trouble identifying some properties because basically nothing's left.
Right.
So how do you go and try to decide what's what?
And it's a slow process because you have some homes that are standing and have minimal damage. You have some that are nothing but rubble, and then you have some that are about to fall on you. And so they have to treat each property differently.
Right.
And they have to be so cautious because they don't want more injuries to occur. So it's a slow process to get through.
So, but just coming out, the 25th deadliest storm in U.S. history. Well, on to definitely a lighter story here. A McDowell High School student has a lot to be proud of this afternoon. He's one of just over 300 students in the world to receive a perfect score on his AP research exam, which I can't even pronounce the name of the exam. This guy's a senior. His name is Chris Zhao, and his project was CFD analysis on the carotid artery bifurcation. 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 He received a perfect score on that project.
Now the class is unique because the students get the opportunity to choose a topic and then present research, unlike a typical test quiz format type of class. Now, according to Chris, this class interested him because he felt in charge of his own learning. And by the way, as we said, only 1% of students internationally around the world are able to accomplish a perfect score. So congratulations to McDowell High School student Chris out there. That's amazing.
It must be that Mill Creek education, as Jamison Hixenbaugh is sitting next to me. We're both McDowell grads. Congrats to him for sure.
All right, Perry Square is set to go pink tonight as we're just into a few days now into Breast Cancer Awareness Month. UPMC Hammond is sponsoring the Pink Perry Square event to recognize Breast Cancer Awareness Month and to celebrate survivors throughout the community.
Yeah, they actually use lights now, so they're not actually dyeing the fountain there. But it is happening tonight. It's also going to feature a local woman's breast cancer journey, as well as some remarks by physicians at Hammett's Breast Health Center, all set to get started at 6 o'clock this evening down in Perry Square. And this event is open to the public.
Nice event there to celebrate and to be together. Now we're going to have Jamison join us, our other McDowell grad.
Yes, McDowell represents.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans, there it is.
All right.
You've got more on this fishing scandal.
We had to bring it back to talk about this. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's something else. I mean, there's been several videos that have emerged of this, and all of them have gotten like over 1 million views. A lot of it we can't put on TV just because of the fact there's a lot of swearing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of anger.
People were really mad.
So for anybody who might not know, a couple guys in Cleveland won this huge fishing tournament. They won 30 grand, but they cut the fish open because they were suspicious, and they found that these 2 gentlemen had been weighting the fish with other fish.
Yeah, so they were loaded with lead weights and then other fish fillets.
Yes, and you can see them like pulling out these lead balls from the fish. And these are some of the other, I would imagine, the other competitors here saying, these guys have won other tournaments. So, Jamison, that has to be in question. These guys in the tournaments they've won in the past.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be. I know that they are under investigation right now from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and also the Cleveland Metro Parks Police. They're looking into it. No charges have been filed yet, but yeah, just for the turn. I did speak with a group earlier today just to kind of get their take on the situation. One of the groups, here I have it written down, I always stumble on this name. It is the Erie PA Sport Fishing Association. Okay. They host 3 fishing tournaments here in Erie every year, and they say that this is definitely a black eye on the fishing industry. And then moving forward, them along with all the other people who host these tournaments across the country, they're going to have to look into it to kind of prevent things like this from happening.
Well, if this happened here, it kind of makes you wonder, gosh, what else has happened and gone undetected? And I'm wondering, can there be any, like, I know police are involved, but, they're just cheating in a tournament. I mean,
but there's a lot of money involved.
There's a lot of money involved. Talk about the lie detector test.
Yeah, so I found this was kind of interesting.
So interesting.
So with these tournaments where there's a lot of money, a big purse on the line, the winners have to get a lie detector test just to see, and if they fail it, they're disqualified.
Right.
So, yeah, Probably would have happened here, 30,000. I'm not sure what the overall amount has to be, but I know in the larger tournaments, some of these draw in a lot of money. So.
And these two are known as repeat winners, and so there's a lot of question as to what they've been doing right along.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this develops moving forward. That's for sure.
And you'd have to imagine folks like the people you talked to earlier today might have to make some changes in the fishing tournaments that they're hosting here at home.
It's definitely something they got to consider. And I did try to reach out to the director of that tournament, and he told me he can't talk because he's just getting inundated with requests to be interviewed.
Hundreds of phone calls.
Well, this story has gone worldwide.
It has.
Everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, and it's pretty close to Erie too, so it's definitely of interest around here.
Right down the road.
All right.
Jamison Hixenbaugh, you'll have more on that coming up at 5 o'clock tonight. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, coming up on First at 4, the Bayfront Convention Center, certainly going to be a busy place this weekend for the Beach Glass Festival.
But it's so much more than those little treasures that you find down at the lake. We've got all the details for you coming up next.
Your home is connected. Your devices, connected. But who connects you to news in your community? The Erie News Now digital team. Your powerful source for late-breaking news, big stories, and severe weather. Straight to you in so many ways. ErieNewsNow.com. Erie News Now's free mobile app. Erie News Now Plus. Erie News Now on social media. Your choice, anywhere, anytime. Click, like, love Erie News Now on digital. It's local coverage you can count on. Support the community that supports you. It's more important than ever to support our local businesses. So whenever you shop, eat, or spend, think big and shop small. Brought to you by Erie News Now. Each week on WICU, we're highlighting marvelous gems and treasures concealed in your community. To submit your local gems hidden near you, visit us at erienewsnow.com/communitygems. Erie News Now and Northern Pennsylvania Regional College, bringing you community gems in your area. Every Friday at 5:30 p.m. on WICU. You can learn plant and gardening tips on everything from azaleas to zucchinis on Erie News Now Sunday mornings. Horticulturist Josh from Stan's Garden Center teaches you plant and gardening tips from A to Z. Sundays from 8 to 9 a.m. only on Erie News Now weekend mornings.
Talking about Manatee County here in Florida, we did see Hurricane Ian come ashore as a strong Category 4 storm, borderline Category 5 storm. It made landfall here just west of the Fort Myers area. And we're talking about the Dakin Dairy Farm. This is kind of a sad story we're talking about here. It's located inland, so they did not see anything in terms of storm surge, but they did see quite a bit of flooding. And unfortunately, that did lead to over 250 cows, unfortunately, passing away there at the historic dairy farm there. You can see Chipotle. That's looking pretty good. But on another note there, some of the damage was very, very sad. It was a sad scene there. Folks were seen crying as well. And the dairy farm, even with losing that many cows, has been open as kind of a shelter, a gathering place for serving hot meals for many folks that are still dealing with the devastation of Ian. So a little bit of good happening out of a lot of bad there. So
did the barn collapse or?
So all of
flooding?
the deaths were either attributed to flooding. So the rainfall there was very substantial. So a lot of the farmland flooded, and then a few other deaths were also contributed to some of the flying debris that we saw. They were in that strong eye wall as well. So.
But it just shows you really just how much impact in those areas that you may not think of from a storm like this, and then the trickle effect from what that farm's going to be.
Right, the farming and people who have zoos and have other animal habitats, they were all scrambling to try to protect their animals. So.
And they said out of any hurricane they've seen already, the maximum number of cows they've seen pass away is only 8. So definitely a big impact going on there with this storm.
All right, AJ, thanks for that. We do want to move on to our next guest and in a much lighter story. A big event coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Jennifer Reed's joining us. And Jennifer, you're the owner of Relish, which has been a wonderful store out on Erie's west side for quite some time. How many years have you had Relish?
26.
And you specialize in working with beach glass there.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we were talking, a little bit in the break about how this festival came about.
So there was a national festival that was here in 2009, and when they left, they move around. They weren't coming back, and we figured that they left sort of a void. It was a very popular show, and we decided to make it an annual event, and since then I've made it a biennial event, so it's every other year now.
What makes beach glass so special?
Well, it's the history and mystery and the science that it takes behind it, which most people don't realize. But it's also the peek into the past. It's a free pastime, and it's a non-renewable resource, which people don't realize either. People will say that they're throwing in new bottles right now, but glass is made in a different way. It's made to disintegrate and break down into tiny pieces instead of the large shards that were thick and meant to be reused over and over again from, years and years ago.
And I thought it was surprising, before we really jump into the details of the festival, but you said how long it can take for a piece of glass to turn into some of the beautiful jewelry that you're wearing.
Yes, up to 20 to 30 years, because it's not just the action of the waves on the sand, it's the pH level of the waters. And the Great Lakes is on a bedstone of limestone, and it creates a 8.5, 7.5 pH level, and it eats away, it erodes parts of the glass, the lime and the soda.
So if you're, one more science question, then we'll get to the festival. Sure. But if you're saying that the glass is made differently today and it breaks down, are you also saying that in 50 years we won't be able to find beach glass?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And now it's an industry, so there's so many people out looking for it. I call it a full contact sport, but you have to get up early and get out.
I love when you're on the beach looking for beach glass and you pass somebody else looking for beach glass.
Yeah.
What did you find today?
What do they have in their stack?
Exactly.
Right?
All right. Let's get to the festival, all the details of that. It's at the Bayfront Convention Center.
It is. It's this Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5 on Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday. It's $7 admission. We've got about 76 artists coming from all over the country: California, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New Jersey, and of course locally Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio. And all different mediums of art. It's not just about beach glass. It's an art festival as well. So we have glass blowers and epoxy artists and woodworkers and fiber artists, painters, printmakers, photographers.
And you also have, I have listed there, you've got some live music and lectures and wine making. So there's just something for everybody.
Yes, there is. Yes. Kids enjoy it because there's loose glass. We have a YouTube channel person, star, I don't know what you call him. He's called the Board Pirate, and he's sailing around the world looking for beach glass, and he's going to be selling some of his loose glass if you're into just that and wanting to make your own things out of it. But he's going to be there. He's called the Board Pirate.
And you have thousands of people that come to this festival every year. You must have a big chunk of those who just like to go out and look for beach glass.
Oh, in fact, we've been selling tickets to Washington State, to Florida. So people are traveling in because beach glass or sea glass is really... It's an addiction, and there's no 12-step program. You don't need it.
I love that. Better appreciate it while we have it, because it sounds like that might be something that won't be around forever.
That's
and
right.
it's so beautiful. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's going to be a great festival this weekend.
Yeah, it sure is. Saturday and Sunday at the Bayfront Convention Center. Jennifer, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Interstate Nissan brings you Finding Forever Families every Thursday on WICU 12 at 12:30. Tune in and meet the newest member of your family. We here at Interstate Nissan hope you find your forever friend.
When news breaks, you need more than a headline. We bring you in-depth reporting to make sense of it and give you the context you need. NBC Nightly News right after Erie News Now with Mike and Eva. Coverage you can count on from WICU.
You're watching First at 4 with Kara Coleman and Amanda Post.
And we're just about 10 minutes away from 5 o'clock, and we want to check in with our news team, what they've been working on
Let's
today.
head into the newsroom now and see what Eva's got for us.
Hi, Kara and Amanda. Some of the stories that we're working on tonight on Erie News Now starting at 5 includes the thoughts of the Erie County Solicitor ahead of that proposed plastics plant vote tonight that County Council will take. We're also hearing from some other county leaders on what they think about this project. It's continuing coverage. Also, a new era for the Greater Erie Auto Auction. There's now a new owner. We're going to find out what that means for the public and for business, and also the latest on the aftermath of Hurricane Ian and what that means moving forward.
All right, Eva. Thank you. Well, we are approaching dinner time, just a few minutes ahead of 5 o'clock. And if you're running out of ideas to feed the family, here's one. It is National Taco Day.
And of course, because it's Taco Tuesday.
Let's celebrate.
October 4th is the day that America celebrates the taco. And as you probably know, we have Mexico to thank for tacos. But how about the word taco?
Yeah, that's not really clear, but one suggested origin is the word a taco, meaning stuff, or to stuff, which is what you do with tacos. I actually had tacos yesterday, not knowing.
You can double do it
I'm
for
gonna double dip.
taco day. Yeah, hard shell, soft shell. What's your preference?
Hard shell.
Hard shell. I am too.
Yeah. I like the salad. I like to just pile
So
it
does
all
my
up.
husband.
Yes.
I'll make all the hard shells and he crunches them up.
That's how I like it too.
Well,
yeah.
if it's on a salad, it's not. You're not stuffing it. So is it technically a taco?
I don't know, AJ.
Deconstructed
Yes, I guess we'll have to discuss that later. Well, the national record for the largest pumpkin was set in New York over the weekend.
And it is a biggie. A guy by the name of Scott Andrews brought his massive gourd to the Great Pumpkin Farm in Clarence, New York, and it weighed in at 2,554 pounds. So that broke the national record. So the record here in the States.
Impressive.
Impressive, but it did fall short of the Guinness World Record, so very cool still. No, definitely considering that, but world record of 2,702 pounds. The pumpkin will be on display at the farm until October 16th.
Big pumpkin. I don't know how you move those things. You have to get a lift for those.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Finally, on First at 4, Airbnb is offering up free and discounted temporary housing for hurricane victims.
Yeah, the company announced in a new release that it will use $5 million to give shelter to people in Florida whose homes were lost or severely damaged by Hurricane Ian, and housing for first responders, helping in the recovery process as well.
I thought that was really cool, adding in the first responders there.
Yeah, Airbnb also announced it's donating $250,000 to Florida's disaster relief fund, so doing good on all ends there.
Really cool. And it's been surprising over the last few days to watch the remnants of Ian just kind of stuck on the East Coast there.
Yeah, luckily we've been staying dry here in Erie, but eastern portions of the state really have been getting battered.
Yeah. So how are we looking? What are your last thoughts here as we're about to leave for this hour?
We're looking pretty good here. You can see Prescott. We do have that cloud cover kind of sitting in there, but those green bars over the next several hours means no precip. So that's always some good news
That's
here.
That's going to be a pretty shot in the next few weeks.
Yeah, certainly. You can see some of those yellows already showing up here. And the cooler nights, too, also very good for that foliage. 40 degrees, some of those inland locations. We'll be in those mid-40s here, but 43 your overnight low in Meadville. Heading over towards Warren County, 43 degrees. Our overnight low right around the Warren area as well. And your first look at your 4-day forecast. Sarah Tonks will have your 7-day coming up here at 5, but our 4-day looking pretty good here. 70 degrees on Thursday. We'll be seeing a little bit of cloud cover increasing, and then that cold front pushes through Thursday, dropping those temps quite a bit.
Boy, the sunsets the last few nights have been
stunning.
Last night, I saw a lot of pictures on social media today, people capturing that.
Could be another good one tonight.
Another one tonight?
Hopefully.
All right, so get out there with your cameras.
And you know, anytime this time of year we see a 70 on the board, you think, how many more are we going to see? Yeah, we definitely will. AJ, thanks so much.
Yeah, that'll do it for us here at First at 4.
Erie News Now at 5 o'clock, coming up in just a few minutes.